Everyone, and welcome to World of Darkness News. On this very busy week, we had plenty of announcements and the release of Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Wiki, which we are super proud of, and there's a lot of fun stuff going on in the community in general. Today we're going to focus on all of this, but we are going to start with a special interview with the guests, developers of Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising. And this is quite of an interesting product, a mix of a physical and a digital board game, and I would love to learn more about it. So let's see what the developers have to say. Hello, David and Ricardo. Are you with us?
Hello, yes. We can hear you. Hi.
Perfect. And now everyone can see you as well. And we can start our interview after a little bit of a technical difficulties we had at the beginning of the stream. But now, as everything is working, I would love to start with general introductions. Could you introduce yourself to our community?
Sure.
Yes. So my name is Davide Garofalo, and I'm the founder and CEO of Xplored, the company behind the Teburu system and Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising game.
And I'm Riccardo Landi. I'm the head of design here at Xplored. So I follow all the games or project we do here in Xplored. And I'm also, of course, following and leading the game design for Vampire the Masquerade with other game designers.
Wonderful. So let's start with Vampire the Masquerade Milan Uprising in general. What is it if you were to give someone an elevator pitch?
Let's start saying that it's a board game, of course. So we're talking about a board game with a physical component like a board, miniatures, dice. But it's a board game for Teburu. So it has also digital devices involved, and we'll talk about those later, maybe. And as a game, the core mechanics, there's a lot of investigation. It's a story-driven game, of course. Since you're playing on the city map, there's also a bit of area control mechanics, and then you have also, thanks to the Teburu technology, some hidden information gameplay. So you're working. It's a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players, and but you always have some maybe personal objectives and goals. So it's cooperative, but sometimes you want to do things for yourself.
Interesting. So we are going to dwell a little bit deeper into how it ties into the role-playing system of Vampire the Masquerade. But I feel it's great if we clarify something from the beginning. What exactly is Teburu? And what is the mindset behind Teburu and the design of the system?
So the Teburu system is something that is born, I always like to tell it, not for technology's sake. So what we did was, as passionate board game players, role-play game players, we wanted to give our skills that are in both video games and digital, this project, let's say hardware and software together. We wanted to do something in order to enhance the board game system and the board game experience. So Teburu vision is to offer to the board game experience something that gives the player the opportunity to live a deeper, more immersive experience. So having like sounds and having all the bookkeeping out of his shoulder, having the rules easy to learn because the system helps you, but also to add layers of deeper and more interesting mechanics that usually analog board games cannot give.
So in a very simple manner for me, for example, I've never played a Teburu game before, but I can imagine that this works as a board game, which I don't have to read the whole instruction book to start playing it because the system does it for me and focuses on the mechanics part, while I can actually explore it more as a character in the game and explore it with more added immersion because of the sounds and lights, right?
Yes, that's right. I also add one thing that on top of these kind of benefits, the fact is that we want, as board game players, we want the players to keep their attention on the board not on the screen. So to continue to play in the way they are used to do. So they continue to move miniatures, roll physical dice, and then something happens. So when they move the miniature, they hear the sound of the new place where they are, or an event that is happening, an ambush or something that all of a sudden arrives to the player, but without any premise, without any preparation. Or when they roll the die, they hear and see the result of what they do. So they just have fun. They just play, do the tactics, and then the system gives them all the feedbacks of what happens. Like the system is the storyteller at the end.
This is super interesting. And when it comes to the setting in itself, because I know a lot of our Italian friends are going to be very happy about this, why exactly Milan, and how does it work in the game that the game is set in Milan?
Okay, so maybe Riccardo is from Milan, so maybe
Yes,
he's the guy.
that's why.
You can reply better than me.
No, well, as Davide said many times, Milan for starter, is an important city in the Vampire the Masquerade lore.
Yes.
Yeah, and then since we tried, I mean, talking about a possible vampire game, we said, why don't we set it in Milan, my city and city of many of the team members that we know very well, and we want to tell all the secrets and all the subtle the details of the city and the city life. And in Milan, for us, it's a perfect setting, also because there's a lot of, I mean, it's a live city. There's design, fashion, innovation, but also history. It's a very old city, and then nightlife, and as most of the big cities, also crime,
Yes.
bad things. So it's a city where many things happen, and so we say, let's do it.
If you imagine a night party during the fashion week in Milan, it's perfect vampire setting, for example. And on the other side, really, as a fan of Vampire the Masquerade since '95, I always really was eager to have a story based in Milan because of all the history that has as a lore of the World of Darkness in Milan. So we had this very important opportunity for us that we want to take at best and try and propose our city to the fan.
This is wonderful. And for everyone who played Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game before, what familiar things from the system will they experience in your board game?
Yes, okay, so the game has its own rules. So it's a custom game mechanics that we designed specifically for vampires. So just to be clear, the concept is we worked on the Tebrus system and then on the games that we wanted on the system, and all of a sudden we met with all the guys from World of Darkness who were interested in putting their own franchise on the system. So it was an immediate match meeting, and we thought from scratch of something that was perfect to represent the mood, the setting in a new custom ad hoc game mechanic system. And the system itself is, of course, a board game mechanic system, but is based on, let's say, it's more correct to say is inspired by the storytelling system. So what we have is character sheets with attributes, skills, discipline. There's the hunger, and so you have also to manage your hunt with mortals. There's the night and day cycle that you have to manage. There are the D10 dice that you roll to have your, let's say, your check and your test during the investigations, during the influence that you try to have on the city. So all this system that we did, again, is new, is custom, but is fully inspired to the storytelling system.
That's great. So how, if you can give me some examples, how does Teburo system come in play when it comes to its combination with vampire mechanics? So let's say hunger or feeding. How do you utilize Teburo in order to play these themes?
And I would say that playing so many years vampires, the one of the main important thing that I lived while playing the role-playing game was the, let's say, the storytelling immersion. So the fact that when I was playing, for example, I would play with candles and music and all these kind of things to create the atmosphere with all my friends, playing always and only in the night. We could not organize a gameplay session during the day. So we wanted to transfer the similar immersivity, let's say, immersion in the game through the system. So the good thing is that, for example, when you play, you feel the city that is alive around you, and you hear the sound and, let's say, maybe a thematic music when you go in a specific location, so you have full immersion. Second is the fact that being a storytelling-driven narrative, let's say, experience, every choice that you do can bring the story into a certain direction or another one, but on top of being a linear choice that you do influencing the campaign, it's a choice that influences what the city then does. Because the city is alive and can dynamically, procedurally change based on what you do. And the same is for the other factions that live and try to influence the city. So, like, there's the Camarilla, the protagonists are Anax, trying to, let's say, uprise the city against the Camarilla with this La Sombra prince that is just by itself, it's an interesting point of view. And there's the Inquisition also. So while you play all these players driven, managed by the system, react, act with their own pace, with their own tactics, and you, let's say, interact with the living city with many parts in play.
Yeah, and as we always like to say, is like, okay, of course, players are vampires. They play they have a coterie, but we always wanted the city itself to be a character in the story.
Like usually in Vampire the Masquerade. That's awesome.
Exactly. So you interact with the city, and the city reacts, and it is alive. Especially thanks to the Tebru system that can manage any complex system behind the scene without the player having to worry about managing and bookkeeping everything. So it's really, we want to bring the city alive in the game and make it a central character of the story.
Do I understand it correctly that basically, as for example, on the real board, there would be like NPC red pawns moving around and someone moving them for them. In Tebru game, these NPC pawns are moved by the digital system, so we don't see exactly their actions, and we may only play against them. This is so fun.
Yes. Also, you see maybe what you know they are going to do. You can estimate, you can guesstimate what is going to happen, and then you discover maybe the second night. So when you wake up, you see what happened, and especially what the Inquisition did during the day. So you can estimate what is going to happen, but it's not the good thing of doing a game through Tebru and not through a normal analog game is that you don't need to know everything
as a player.
As a player to manage where to put things also for the game. It's the game itself that think and do hidden action and then unveil to you what is needed to be unveiled. And all of a sudden you understand what in reality is going to happen at the right moment.
So you suddenly realize the consequences of your actions.
Yes, sometimes.
That sounds great. I already want to put my hands on this game and play it with my teammates in Paradox. So I really hope we'll be able to. And for everyone who wants to play Milan Uprising, what's then the steps for us to obtain it in the future? How can we support you right now, support you in development? And finally, how we can get the game?
So we are going to launch a crowdfunding campaign in the first half of 2003. So next year, that is coming next year. So there you go. And for now, the campaign is not launched yet. But for now, if anybody is interested in the project, can follow us. Can go on our website for the project. Is milanuprising.com. And there you can subscribe to the newsletter where we announce all the important things for the project, with the news, and of course when the campaign will go live. And
yes, I mean, what we can add is that even if the specific date of the campaign will be unveiled soon, not today, we have most of the contents that are ready or defined. So we unveil slowly in order to also to hear and listen to the reaction of our consumers. So who is interested to participate not only passively, let's say, but also to give us their own feedbacks is welcome to join us on the website milanuprising.com.
Thank you so much. So, well, I can already wish you best of luck with the crowdfunding campaign next year. I will definitely follow it and will definitely inform everyone in the community once it starts. And I hope to see you here again to talk more in detail about the crowdfunding campaign in the future. And as for now, thank you so much for joining us, David and Ricardo. This project sounds awesome. I cannot wait to play it myself and see what the amazing systems you put in there. So yeah, super exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And for more details about Milan Uprising, you can, of course, subscribe to the newsletter on tabooru.net/Milan Uprising, or, as I've just learned, there's a milanuprising.com site as well, so you can just go there and subscribe to the newsletter. As for now, there's no way to pre-order the game or buy it just yet, because the crowdfunding campaign is going to start in the first half of the next year. We are going to update you about that in here. As for now, you can go to this website, though, to see the assets and see the planned design for the game and how it looks like. It's super amazing. I've also seen some YouTubers covering the Tabooru system in general. If you are more interested in how this whole system works, for me it was super exciting just to go on the online and just like search for more about how these digital or phygital board games work. Then you can definitely search more for that online. I find this topic super interesting because it's such a interesting and kind of like a new way of playing board games, and I admit I'm not the best at following instructions, so when I have to learn a hefty, huge instructions for the game, I either have to have someone teach me that, or I just give up. So having a system do this for me is great, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. And in the meantime, we're going to jump into the other news and see what we have there for today. And for the next one, Vampire the Masquerade V5 Wiki. Wiki. Wiki is like Victoria, right? And Wiki is like Wikipedia, right? I think it's Wiki. So Vampire the Masquerade V5 Wiki is now live. This is the basically the official community wiki. So by official, it means that we are also working on it. By community, it means that community can contribute with all of their changes, updates, and details. We are basically just setting up the general guidelines and making sure that everything is V5 adjacent on the wiki, as this wiki is supposed to be the best repository for everyone who just wants to get the references for the books and products. So if you don't want to like go into the book to reference something that you remember from it, if you want to have character creation just all on one page, all the disciplines and where to find them, all the lore sheets and where to find them in the books, which page and which book is this particular lore sheet on, that's what the wiki has. And of course, it's a very cool resource for people who are new to V5, who have never dwelled into the lore a little bit deeper, and they just want to get all that knowledge. So we wanted to ease the onboarding process. We know that there is a lot of amazing community resources available already that do just this thing. So for example, people like Alratan, Nerdbird, and other community members have been setting up these resource documents with disciplines, with various different references to the books as well. And we just wanted to have all of the stuff in one place, curated by the moderators and the admins to make sure that it's all of the most recent and most updated content. So that's what the wiki is all about. The wiki is, of course, still a work in progress. When you will go around the wiki, you'll see a lot of stubs, which are basically just articles in progress. And if you want to, if there's any need that you have for a particular article to be finished, go to our Discord and ask for it in the wiki feedback channel, and we'll see what we can do. You can also contribute things yourselves, and for the contributions you can contribute the article parts, or you can also contribute translations. We already have some amazing community translators on board who have started doing Brazilian Portuguese, Spanish, and Ukrainian translations. I declared that I have to help with the Polish one, so I will be helping with the Polish. We also have plans for people who want to join us from Italy to also join with the translations, and every single bit of help is definitely appreciated, as wiki is basically a group work. Wiki, for it to happen in the best possible way to help the most of the community, it has to be a huge group work, and that's how we are approaching it. So far, we've had so many amazing contributors to the wiki. I have to shout out the wiki admin, our CA, Galdor Fiore, for leading this project and filling over 200 articles on it. Thank you so much, Galdor. It's been such a big work to do. And yeah, it's basically available right now, so I'm so happy. I started this actually just exactly 1 year before, in like right after the Month of Darkness last year. Someone actually proposed that as one of the ideas for the Month of Darkness to happen, and I was like, it would be great to have it, but just such a lot of work. I'm not sure if we were ever able to have this happen, but thanks to the community contributions and jolly cooperation, it is now live and ongoing. We're still going to work on it for sure. Some people were also asking if this replaces the White Wolf Wiki, which you may be familiar with online. White Wolf Wiki is an unofficial fan-made wiki that also contains a lot of the legacy content and some of the unofficial fan-made content, which there is totally a great place to go if you're looking for this particular content. And we feel like these two wikis can very well coexist. And yeah, if you want, for example, some of the legacy content from the previous editions, if you want to add that to your game, or if you're just a player of V20 of other editions, White Wolf Wiki is the best place to go. While V5 Wiki is going to contain only the V5 information for people who want to stick to the V5 and the canon and official information. So that's basically the difference. And yeah, I really hope it's going to be just another great resource for the information for you that you can just browse and have fun with. And yeah, please let us know what you think about the wiki and the whole idea, and if you want any help with the contributions or any sort of a question about the wiki, go to our Discord, and there is a wiki feedback channel where we are discussing it all the time. So yeah, just go there, and yeah, let's jump to other news. And now for Demiplane, Hunter Nexus is now live in early access, and you can check it out on hunternexus.com. VampireNexus.com is also live, so both of these virtual repositories, as well as the platforms for playing Hunter the Reckoning and Vampire the Masquerade, are now live in early access. There are still some things missing, as the Demiplane developers are working on the character creation tools and more to be added in the future near updates. So we'll be updating you about these coming soon. And as for now, Hunter is available there with all of its rules, digital reader, where you can read the whole book using the digital tools that allow you to very quickly search through it. And of course, a lot of the systems and mechanics from the book explained in a very simple way digitally on the one-pagers using Demiplane. There's also the Demiplane system where you can just join the voice calls, you can organize your own virtual plays, as well as do the professional storytelling where you can be paid for storytelling to others. So it's a very big system contained within the Demiplane universe, on which you can find Vampire the Masquerade and Hunter the Reckoning already, and we're going to only expand it. So yeah, if you want to check it out, this is our version of D&D Beyond, basically. So if you're familiar with D&D Beyond, Demiplane is from the same authors, actually, from the same developers, and it expands the idea further. I really hope that you will like the early access, and if you have any questions or suggestions, submit them to the devs so they can add them in the future updates. And last but not least, Vampire Jam has been prolonged by 48 hours. The original date of the finale of Vampire Jam was yesterday if you're watching us on Twitch, 2 days ago if you're watching us on YouTube, but we have prolonged it by 48 hours for people to be able to finalize their builds. We had a lot of late submissions and people who were just very much scrambling to get their games updated on time, but we've decided that the 48 hours are not going to change the results of the jam too much, while we also took the note of games which were uploaded in the original submission line, so we know which games were uploaded yesterday, and we're going to make sure that if there are, for example, 2 games of a very similar quality in the jam and one of them was uploaded after the original deadline, we're going to favor the one who was uploaded before. So we have that all noted down and on the list, and we cannot wait to play these games. We're definitely going to feature more of them here on the streams, and you can already play them if you want to. Just go to itch.io/jam/VTM or look for Vampire Jam 2022, and you'll be able to find already, I believe, 16 submissions, or maybe even more. You can check out how many games are submitted already and just download them and play them. Some of them are also available from the browser. So yeah, Vampire Jam still going on. People have time for the next 24 hours to make the games, and if you're watching us on YouTube, that's going to be less. It's going to be about 8 hours. But yeah, if you still want to join, it's enough to join with a very simple game. Just saying. If you need any tips on how to do that, then just ping me on Discord, and I'll be very happy to help you. In the meantime, I'm going to check out what Hadi is doing, because we have some Vamily Spotlight going on today. I'm also going to switch to our Vamily Spotlight screen in just a second. Hello, Hadi.
Hi, made your voice deeper?
Just a little bit. I am going to show everyone our wonderful board and you. Yes, it works. Hooray. So how are you doing today, Hadi?
I'm doing really good today. It's extremely dark out so early. I'm gonna get used to that now.
It's so dark, it's so cold. I should be enjoying it as a alleged vampire, but I do not.
No, not really.
I believe this is the last Vamily Spotlight in which we cover Vamtober.
It is. It's over now.
It took us over a month to go.
Yes.
I'm sorry for zombie sounds from the outside. But yeah, it took us over a month to get through this because there's just so much. And we have some more days to cover, starting with Vamtober Day 27, Something to Unlive For.
Yes. And as always, hard to pick ones for everything because there's so many, unique submissions or, creations. But this one made me laugh. So this is especially queer. Murphy's Drawing always shows the coterie having fun. The idea of a coterie sitting around playing like a first-person shooter or even getting like a LAN session together just made me laugh so hard.
This is amazing. And also, it's very relatable. I don't know, it's just my like generation thing, but some parties that I've been to, they look like this.
Yeah.
It's just like someone was playing a game and everyone else was watching. So yeah, it's wonderful. And I feel like, it's especially funny if you have a fledgling or a neonate playing, and then you have some Ancilla from like 18th century or 19th century just being behind like, what is this match?
That must be the person on the couch.
Okay.
The Ancilla must be on the couch.
Question, which game, if you were sired by someone, let's say from the beginning of the 20th century, which video game would you show them as the first game?
Oh my lord, The Sims. It would have to be The Sims.
Can I control these people? All those real people?
No, see, I go to a dark place. So you're in a funny place. I go to a dark place. Got to be like, look, you can see the sun and have a family again,
Actually, you cannot really see the sun in The Sims. I mean, at least in the original ones.
Well, yeah. Well, I'd get all the expansion packs so you can go like on vacation, like the tropical vacations. So then you can see the sun.
Can you see the sky in The Sims? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sims 3, or 4, rather.
I have The Sims 1, like, just embedded in my head. Sabat Enjoyer! Oh, look at this. This is so cool.
Yeah, this is Matt Facepalmer, Something to Unlive For. Of course, knowledge, right?
Yes.
And of course, we featured them and Cryptic Siren earlier this week on the Instagram channel. They were cosplaying Beckett and Lucita de Aragon.
I don't know what this location is, but why are cosplayers always so good at finding these like super in-game
know.
locations, right?
I know. I could never.
Is this in your house? I imagine all cosplayers are living in castles and they just have these like all the amazing like things behind them because it looks amazing.
Mhm.
All right, and now unusual methods for Hunter Birthday 27.
As of course by Olaf, we've featured them many times.
Yes.
And this unusual methods of hunting. This is clearly a hunter therapist
Yeah.
talking to a monster, a vampire or something.
Oh, that's smart.
Is it smart?
I mean, I don't know, but it's a smart interpretation of the theme. It's probably not very smart on the hunter part.
That's what I was thinking.
But I like it, like I feel like we embrace it in the Hunter Garage, and also a lot of people start to embrace it slowly in their actual place. That hunters do not exactly want, like, not all hunters want to kill monsters, like it's deeper than just killing, than just like destroying. And I feel like it's so fun when you explore these deeper themes and interactions with the monsters. Like that's so cool.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Hunter is way scarier than Vampire the Masquerade because you feel very vulnerable when you're playing Hunter. Yes. Speaking from personal experience.
Yes, it's very, very much of a horror game in a more sense. I feel like Vampire is a horror game where the things that you scared the most is yourself. Well, the Hunter is the horror game when you are still a little bit scared of yourself and your own actions, but you're also scared of the things around you. So yeah. And now, what makes me remember?
So this first one is by Sionskaya, I guess is how you'd say that. The scars of Casimir Gerhard Gurte always remind him of the time when he was a ghoul. And this was really interesting to me and spoke to me. Clearly, they have some sort of markings on their hand from before they were embraced, and whatever injuries you have or scars you have, get embraced with you, which I always find to be a very interesting characteristic playing vampire.
This is lovely. I also love the pale skin that indicates that this is a vampire. It's an undead person. And also, I just have to say, I love your German accent. It was amazing.
Oh, sorry.
it's
well,
beautiful.
Gerhard's a very common name here.
How do you say Gerhard?
Gerhard.
Gerhard Gurte. I don't know. I can't even repeat that.
Casimir Gerhard Gurte.
Casimir Gerhard Gurte. I failed it.
Sorry, it's a name you would hear. Casimir and Gerhard, you'd hear that name here pretty regularly.
It sounds so good. Like a lot of people are saying that German doesn't sound good. Like I always argued, it sounds great. Like there's
it depends.
No, but you can really say it in a very like sexy way. It's like, oh,
I will die on the hill that you cannot do sexy talk in German.
I know. I think you can. I think you
I will die on that hill.
Totally can. All right. So now Ott again with what makes me remember from Tumblr.
Of course, this makes me super sad. Ott again, we featured them quite a few times on Vamily Spotlight. They always do something, I don't know, that really speaks to me. Maybe it's just me, but especially looking into the hashtags, I don't know if it's obvious, but he is holding his obituary. And that just made me so sad.
Oh, wow. Wow, yeah. It's a typical Tumblr thing where you see an image, you're like, nice, and then you read the hashtags, and you're like, oh no.
Yep.
Wow, this is deep. And yeah, it makes me sad now. And go on Tumblr, Vamily. If you are not using Tumblr yet, I'm just letting you know there's so much good content for Vampire the Masquerade there. And no matter what you like, even like when you play a game, like let's say you play Swan Song and you enjoy it, or you play Bloodlines and you enjoy it, the first place you should go after you really enjoy something is Tumblr, because there are other people who are going to showcase it in the form of GIFs, fan art, jokes, and best takes. And it's like
fan fiction.
It's so much more positive than a lot of other social media I've seen in that regard, of like you just cultivating this hype fandom. So yeah, whenever I'm just hyped about something and I'm really excited about something, I just go to Tumblr. It's a good place to be.
Completely agree.
And now Fia with the poem.
And again, we love these submissions for Vamptober and Hunttober. It's short stories. It comes back to me in fragments, some long lost, as I recollect my early years, the anguish I felt as I took lives and outlived everyone I had ever cared about. I want to hold on to all of it because pain is also remembering.
Why is it all so sad?
Because this is the prompt. This is the prompt. What makes me remember?
You're right. You're right. All of these. I was thinking, you know what I would do? I would do like a smell of cookies, smell of apple pie. You know, something that gives you nice memories, and not that. No, just kidding. It's wonderful.
The Vamily always goes for the emotional damage first. That's always the first place that we like to go to.
I know, and I agree. I agree with all of this. And now, Stranger in the Night.
Yes. This is Craig Oxbrow. Sorry, Oxbrow. It must have got cut off when I did it.
I'm going to type his name.
No, I have him down. Yeah, I have him down here as well.
Okay, so we have him. Okay, I'm going to just note that. There we go. That's Craig Oxbrow in here. And
sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. We have him already, so it's good. All right. October 28th.
Yes, Stranger in the Night, and I'm Here to Help. And I thought it was really good because it looks like Jasper.
It does, and it would be quite interesting if Jasper would approach some random hunter and be like, "I'm here to help. Kill my enemies for me. Thank you."
Look. Jasper's made a lot of mistakes, okay, but he's never hurt anyone on purpose. Not domestic criticals don't count on purpose. That word didn't provoke him. They don't. Not what I'm saying. Not what with the context of what I'm saying right now. Without being provoked first, without provocation.
Okay. All right. I see.
Look, I've done a lot of research into this. Okay.
We can agree that he is a very multi-layered character.
Sure. That's of course, yeah.
And now we are going to day 29. Don't trust the one with fangs.
Cosmic Detsai, we've featured them also many times because their Vamtober series is so good. This photography like story was great. And this reminded me so much of Simone from New York by Night, the Ministry character. She'd kick you out if she ever knew about all the shit you tell me that you do. Which is a line from a popular song going around now called I actually don't even remember the name of it. Actually, never mind. I don't remember.
Line, though.
It's like Unholy or something like that.
Unholy, yeah. Unholy is one of these songs where the chorus is more popular than the song because everyone plays it on TikTok.
Right. Yeah.
It's like
I couldn't remember because I just hear it on TikTok, but I know that's one of the lines from the song.
It's a good song, though. I recommend it. I feel like it's a good Vampire the Masquerade theme song. You know?
Yeah, sure.
It could be on VTM playlist. It's good. I love it. It looks beautiful, and also yes, it does remind me of Sephiroth, and it's great. Also, do please follow Persephiroth on all social media because I never laugh as much as
I know.
It's just so much
fun.
Stuff
is hilarious.
Stuff is so fun. Like there's just so much fun stuff on the account. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Estalon.
Yeah, I read it as Echelon, so I'm not sure if that's right or not.
I tried multiple versions.
Well, one of them has to be right?
Yes.
This one is very simple. And again, when I say simple, I don't mean like simple. But this is Don't Trust the One with Fangs. And I like this one because it's 2 sets of fangs. And it sort of reminds me, again, of a Ministry character, having maybe like a viperish type of thing.
Yeah,
like a double-fanged snake.
Do you remember the someone did this really cool artwork of different fangs for different clans?
Of course, I'm positive I still have it somewhere on my phone or my computer. I saved it.
Yeah, it was like and Ministry had this like snake-like one.
Yeah,
it's great. I like how the fangs are bended backwards a little bit. It gives that like additional hook kind of a thing. And also very good outline, like very evocative. Again, like a good proof of how you don't have to work too much on. I'm sure that there was a lot of work put into this, but when it comes to like adding color and shading, you don't have to do this to make a very evocative piece. So, great. And now at Otagan.
Yeah, I had to include this one, just one more.
Yes, no worries.
Don't Trust the One with Fangs. And this is supposed to be this is a Malkavian character. And I just loved it because of that red eye.
Yes.
I love that. Like, it's so mischievous. And I just had to include it.
One of his artworks where you can just do the trick of the hands, where you're hiding part of it with your hand, and then you're hiding the other part. It's completely different. depending
Yes.
on which side you hide. Which is
Yes.
great. I love it.
Yeah, it gave me very Two-Face Batman vibes, so I just had to include it, of course.
Yes. And now we're going for Huntober Day 29, Unexplained Creatures. You might have noticed we feature a lot of Olaf and a lot of Craig's Oxborough for the Huntober. This is because they were the most active during the
Prolific.
Huntober.
Yeah.
And we really hope that the next Huntobers and Wolftobers or Weretobers are going to
Ooh.
be also very active, so we can feature more things. But as for now, Olaf with Unexplained Creature. Wow.
Yeah. Again, a lot of Olaf stuff gives me SCP vibes, which I'm sure that's not too old now, is it? Is that like completely irrelevant now?
No, SCP is still relevant. I feel
Okay.
like even much younger people just Google SCP and then they go on this like spree of looking for various SCP, like being
I'm not
scared of them.
never been sure like how relevant creepypastas are now.
I'm sure my 3-year-old saw SCP by mistake by clicking on something weird on YouTube because
Oh, lovely.
she recently learned how to use YouTube, and I just like realized when she was clicking for the like, oh no, stop, don't do it. You're going to find your
Wait,
mom's
I made a
videos,
terrible
stop that.
mistake.
Exactly.
But besides this horrible, like, elder creature, otherworldly creature in the back there, I do like the hunter drinking, like, well, this is the end for me.
Is it drinking or is it binoculars?
I swear it looks like they're drinking out of a bottle.
I know. I was like, it's either binoculars, which means like they are observing, but it would be even better if it's actually a drink, and they're just like, yep. So this is what I was showing you earlier, Greg. So I don't know what it is. Maybe you have an idea.
I felt so related to that character because I'd be like, yep, that'd be me.
This would be Goldie, just like sitting in front of like some unexplained creature. Season 2 of Hunter Garage. Spoilers. Wow, no, this looks great. Yeah. I like this, but I'm already eyeing the next one because this is one of my favorite things this October, which is the new discipline powers. So let's get him through.
It's of course by Toddy Malkavian, who for every single day of October wrote a discipline power, which is so amazing, and they're going to compile everything into a document for Storyteller's Vault. So excited for when that comes out. But this one most of them have been pretty high level, but this is only level 2, so I was surprised. And of course, this is for the emotional damage that we already talked about.
Yes.
Hope dies last. Many kindred, after knowing the pain of loss over the years, end up distancing themselves from mortals and avoiding meaningful relationships. So, when the user makes a rouse check and maintains eye contact with the target for 3 turns, the user can perform a rouse check whenever they want to get an idea of the person's emotional state and the general direction and distance of where they are. If the target of the bond is at risk and aware of it, the user will sense it automatically, but will still need to make a rouse check to learn its location. The maximum number of bonds is equal to the user's Auspex level, and it is necessary that the vampire feels appreciation for the targets and has already tasted their blood at least once. So this is sort of like this idea that if they're at a loss for their humanity, or if they've taken too many stains or something, that they can look at people around them, regular human people, and try and form sort of a psychic bond with them that the other person might not even be aware of, just to maintain some semblance of steady ground of humanity.
So basically feel their feelings because they do not feel these feelings themselves anymore. So they can tap into them for that. This is super interesting.
It's such an interesting interpretation of Auspex.
I gotta say, I would up the level at my table.
I would too. That's why I was so surprised it was only level 2.
Yeah, because this is great. I love the write-up. The only thing I would change here on my table, if I would homebrew this for my use, it would be just to put it on free. Because free and also Auspex in general can be very powerful on or lower levels depending on the amount, the information you may receive. And I guess I feel like what they did in the design in there is they went with, it doesn't really help you in gaining any power per se. It's just basically tapping into someone's emotions. But then again, I feel like in certain situations it might put you in a great advantage where you can actually use that in a nefarious way over someone.
I feel like it plays really well into a narrative as opposed to a mechanical advantage. Yeah. And if I were to homebrew it myself, I could see leaving it at level 2, but I would definitely amalgamate with the presence level 3.
Oh yeah, that could also work. This is interesting. I love people coming up with their own powers, and even what's great, when you are making your own chronicle your own like TTRPG role-playing game, put some NPCs in there that have powers which are not in the book, because
Yes. Love that.
it makes it so interesting when the NPC or the antagonist, for example, can do something that your players are not very capable of or do not know of. Maybe one of your players read the whole book, read everything, they know all of these details, and then you throw something new at them. I love
Yes.
doing that.
Yes.
It's so fun. So
This is gleefully.
yeah, this is great though. This is very inspirational. Like it gives me some ideas for the game. So thanks, Tati. I really
sorry.
want you to put this on the Straighters Vault, and if you put a price tag on it, I'm totally going to buy it. So just letting you know. And now, from Rodrigo Ragabash, another
Yes.
great Hunttober participant.
The Horrors Beyond. Investigation record. Horror not only goes beyond the ability to rationalize an event that extrapolates all parameters of reality, but also allows us to reach brief sensations that lead us to see beyond what we accept as reality. Confused? Yes, I know. But only with this understanding, I can continue with my investigations beyond what science and bureaucracy allow me to assimilate. Just such an excellent way to write this particular, it completely conveys exactly what they're going for, and I love it so much.
Yeah, just go on Rodrigo Ragabash Instagram and read all of these prompts, because they are short, but they just give us so many ideas for Hanta. When I was reading the previous ones, I was always like thinking, hey, I can base a chronicle out of this.
Exactly.
So like I think that they could work as intro to chronicles, and I recommend for people to get inspired by these. All right, and then we go for the last day of both Vamptober and Hunttober. Yes.
Probably the hardest pick, the end of me, because there were so many, and so many of them were, the very common way of vampire to end, guess the sun, right? But I picked this one, and I'd like you to read it so you see why.
Vamptober Day 31, the end of me, werewolf food. This is really cool, and it plays very well into the fact that we're coming into probably the year of werewolf. We are, and also I gotta say, I've already wrote something about this on social media, but I am actively playtesting werewolf now in like a campaign, and I really enjoy playing werewolf. Like I wouldn't suspect myself saying this. I haven't been that much of a werewolf player before, but I really love my Bone Knower. I love playing Bone Knowers. They're awesome. so
I'm very excited to play it myself as well.
Yes, I definitely need to pull you into some kind of a playtest there, lady. Werewolf is really fun, and it just I feel like there's also like a lot of ways to play it, so you can just pick and choose of what's your favorite. And in this particular case, eating a vampire seems like a very cool way of playing Werewolf Chronicles. So I like this symbolic end, and it looks really nice. I feel like it's a very there's a lot of work put into this. There's a lot of brushes he's used here, the details on the wolves, they look really nice, and yeah, I like it.
Me too.
Also, take a notice of these like little lights coming from the left.
Yes, I really enjoy the idea of the moon shining down through. It's very poetic, especially for werewolves.
Also, the vampire doesn't seem like it's fighting. It's just like,
No, that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fun. Maybe one of the werewolves is their secret lover, and they've been in love for so long. But now
stop reading my fan fictions, Outstar. Stop it.
Sorry. Okay. The Death of a Hunter, Day 31.
Yes. So this one, I don't. Okay. So I'm going to ask your opinion on how you feel about it. Yeah. So this one is obviously two people talking over a dead body. It says, no ID on him, waiting on Prince. I wouldn't count on it. This looks like a professional hit. So I am not entirely sure because I feel like this is a hunter who passed, and maybe they don't have their cell with them or anyone to have, or maybe their cell is gone, and this is just two random people who don't know anything about the supernatural in any way. And it made me feel sad.
This is possible. But also my first thought when you were like, I want to get your idea, was to think of something sass in here. What if one of these people standing over the hunter is actually a monster? And they've been like, they took all of that stuff. Ha! See?
Devious. That's why you're the hunter storyteller.
I'm always looking for evil in people in the world of darkness. No one is good. No, but this is interesting. Yeah, you can also again with all of the Hunttober, Hunttober. Although we didn't have many submissions for the whole Hunttober this year, it's just all of the pieces were super inspiring for Hunter Chronicles, and really they really nailed the theme of Hunter, and I feel like the effect is there after, because we are Hunter doesn't have modern video games yet, or additional books, etc. So it's not that much known. But as we're trying to, slowly put it in front of the eyes of people with for example, showing the fun arts in here, or the fan fiction, and doing the Hunter Garage, I see more and more people being interested in Hunter, and I see people on Twitter just now starting their first Hunter campaigns and actually enjoying. Sorry, Chronicles. I keep on saying campaigns when it's a Chronicle, but I keep on saying that, and it's actually really really fun to see where people are jumping on it and being like, "Oh, this is actually super fun," and maybe even more fun than Vampire. So
it's such a rush. It's super fun, and it feels very scary because it is.
Yeah, but also Craig just wrote in chat, "Well, you never know."
It seems like a very Craig answer.
Yes. And now we have LA by Night with our best boy Braun.
Yeah, it's our cinnamon roll Braun. So this is by Ren Blue, and they are working on a whole series, and I'm planning on putting it up on the Instagram when they have all 4 finished.
Yeah.
But this is Braun. I want good things for him, but I don't think that's likely.
It's so true. I agree. It is not very likely, but we do want good things for Braun as well. I wonder when Braun is going to end up at the end of the next. I am so excited.
I'm worried about everyone, all 8 of them, to be perfectly honest.
Very worried.
Yeah.
And the lady Iraway with another person that we might be very worried for, which is Khalida.
Yeah, with Khalida. Yeah. So they're also making all of them. So again, planning on featuring that, in the nice little carousel.
Yeah.
But yes, this is Khalida. Always looks very classically Ventrue, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. I just love the the facial expression here too, which is basically like a typical Ventrue expression of you smell bad. I don't want you my present.
Do you even own any Balenciaga?
Yeah. I own 50%. This is great. All right, and now comedic neutral art PH.
Posting this as I'm watching New York by Night season 2 finale when it's just getting dicey.
Nice.
Of course, put up a image of Coco, who of course Coco always looks extremely well put. Again, I feel like everyone in season 2 is very classically their clan, right? And it's very good for a Camarilla, right? Where that sort of old school thing. And Coco looked absolutely classic La Sombra.
Classic Gothic La Sombra, Gothic chick, basically. How Spotify Wrapped is out now, and I just want to, because people have these morning and evening moods that Spotify gives you, and I just want to take these names there and put them as clans, because there's so many good clan descriptors. One of my friends who was on Saturnalia posted his Wrapped, and he had Gothic City Angst. That's for me, that's La Sombra, Gothic City Angst.
Can confirm.
You can definitely make clans out of that. It's beautiful. What a great art. I love the detail on the cross and on the jewelry. It's great. Love it. And now we have Lucy.
Yes, so Deviant and Piper, we featured them before, but they are big fans of Brian Deckhart and Amelia Rose Blair, who have their own Twitch stream, and they apparently have a November month where they do their fans do art for them over the month.
Oh, that's so nice.
And so Lucy decided to do art of Thomas and Suzanne from LA by Night.
I love them so much. They're the best sheep from the whole series for me. The one sheep that I felt they belong with each other. All the other ships were
Yeah, they both complement each other's horribleness perfectly.
exactly. All the other ships were like, you know what? No, I like this is beautiful in some ways, but I feel like it's meant to collapse. While they are just perfect for it.
They've been together since the French Revolution. Why would
Yeah.
it collapse now? It didn't collapse then. Why would it collapse now?
Exactly. You know, once you go with your lover through a French Revolution, what can stop you? You know? Nothing can.
Someone write that down.
Beautiful. I love the support, Hattie. Thank you so much for assembling this. There's a lot of really awesome stuff in here. And yeah, next week we go back to featuring regular arts, cosplays, and storytellers vaults.
Featuring regular awesome stuff.
Regular awesome stuff after we featured the Vamtober and Huntober awesome stuff. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this year. VTM-tober and Huntober. We're going to continue that next year for sure. So yeah. Thank you, honey. You're
Thank
awesome.
you.
And see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for joining us. For those of you who are watching us on Twitch, you can stick around for the short Q&A section at the very end of the stream. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, see you next week for another World of Darkness news. And do join our Discord for more conversation. Discord.gg/World of Darkness. I need to learn how to say this properly. World of Darkness. See you.